Daily English Café.
Your cozy space for real-life English.
Do you sometimes want to talk about your daily habits in English, but your mind just goes totally blank?
Or you only know how to say, I wake up, I eat, I sleep, and the conversation dies after 10 seconds.
Stay with us today because in this episode, we'll show you how to talk about your daily habits in real, natural American English.
With simple phrases you can use right away in real life.
Ready? Grab your coffee.
And welcome to Daily English Café.
Hi, friends. This is Sarah.
And I'm Ryan. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
In this episode, we're going to talk about daily habits, the little things you do every day.
Things like when you wake up, how you start your morning, your work or study routine, exercise, food, and how you relax at night.
We'll share our own habits, teach you useful phrases, and give you short repeat after me moments so you can practice out loud.
And don't worry, we'll keep the English simple, clear, and natural like a real conversation between two American friends.
Exactly. So, Ryan, how can our listeners talk about their daily habits in English?
Great question. There are 3 super useful phrases you can start with. I usually, I always, and I try to.
Yes, these are gold. Let's say them slowly together. I usually.
I always.
I try to.
If you can use just these 3, you can describe a lot of your day.
Let's start with morning habits. Ryan, how do you usually start your day?
All right, here we go. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 6:30 in the morning.
Wow, that's early.
I know. So I wake up at 6:30 and I get out of bed around 6:35 or 6:40. I usually check my phone for a minute, then I go straight to the kitchen and drink a big glass of water.
Nice. Let's slow that down for our listeners and give them a pattern they can copy. Listen carefully to Ryan's sentence. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 6:30. Now, let's make a template. On weekdays, I usually wake up around blank.
Friends, repeat after me, slowly. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 7. One more time. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 7.
Good. You can change 7 to any time that matches your life.
Okay, Sarah, your turn. How do you usually start your morning?
On weekdays, I usually wake up around 7:30. I don't jump out of bed right away. I like to stay in bed for a few minutes, check my messages, and just breathe.
So you wake up slowly.
Yes, very slowly. Then I go to the kitchen, I make coffee, and I try to drink water before my coffee. I don't always do it, but I try.
That's a good habit. Let's teach our listeners the phrase, I try to. When you say, I try to, it means you want to do this thing, but you don't do it perfectly every day.
For example, I try to drink water before coffee. I try to read for 10 minutes in the morning. I try to stretch every morning.
Let's give them a practice line. Repeat after me. I try to drink water before coffee. Again, a little slower. I try to drink water before coffee.
Nice. You can use this for any habit you want to build. For example, I try to wake up earlier. I try to go to bed before midnight.
All right, let's describe a full mini morning routine in natural English. I'll go first. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 6:30. I get out of bed, drink a big glass of water, and then I make coffee. While I drink my coffee, I like to read the news on my phone or listen to a short podcast. That's my basic morning.
That sounds very peaceful.
Sometimes, not always.
Okay, my turn. On weekdays, I usually wake up around 7:30. First, I check my phone for a couple of minutes. Then I get up, open the curtains, and make my bed. After that, I go to the kitchen, make a cup of coffee, and eat a light breakfast, usually toast or yogurt.
Very nice. So notice the structure we both used. First, then, after that.
Yes, these are amazing little words for talking about habits and routines. Let's practice them slowly. First.
Then.
After that.
Try copying this pattern, friends. Repeat after me. First, I wake up and check my phone. Then, I brush my teeth. After that, I have breakfast. One more time, a bit slower. First, I wake up and check my phone. Then, I brush my teeth. After that, I have breakfast.
Great job! Now let's move to work or study habits. Ryan, what do your listeners need here?
They need some very basic but powerful phrases. I work as, I study at, I usually start work at, I usually finish work around.
Perfect. Let's show how to use them in real sentences.
Okay, I work as a software designer and I usually start work at 9 a.m. Friends, listen carefully. I'll say it once, then we'll practice. I work as a software designer and I usually start work at 9 a.m.
Now repeat after Ryan, but you can change software designer to your own job or role.
I work as a blank and I usually start work at 9 a.m. One more time. I work as a blank and I usually start work at 9 a.m.
And if you're a student, you can say, I study at, plus the name of your school or university. For example, I study at New York University. I study at a small college in my city. I study at a language school.
Let's practice one. I study at a language school and I usually have classes in the morning. Once more. I study at a language school and I usually have classes in the morning.
Ryan, how would you describe your typical workday?
Okay. On a normal workday, I usually start work at 9. Before I start, I make a to-do list and check my email. During the day, I take short breaks every couple of hours to stretch, drink water, or walk around a little. That's the healthy version of my day.
And the real version?
The real version is I usually start work at 9 and I forget to take breaks.
Yeah, that sounds more honest.
It does.
I want to highlight a phrase you just used, on a normal workday. Friends, this is a very natural way to start a sentence. Repeat after me. On a normal workday, I usually... Again, on a normal workday, I usually... Then you can finish. Start work at 8, have meetings in the morning, feel tired after lunch.
Great. Now, Sarah, what about your work habits?
Okay, on a normal workday, I usually start work around 9:30. I like to start with small, easy tasks so my brain can wake up. Then I move to deeper work, writing, planning, or recording things like this podcast. I usually take a short break in the late morning to stand up, walk around, and drink water.
That sounds healthy too. I'm learning from you today.
I try. Remember, I try to doesn't mean I'm perfect.
Same. Let's talk about good and bad habits at work or while studying. We all have both.
Oh, yes. For example, a good habit is I always turn off notifications when I need to focus.
And the bad habit might be I often check social media when I'm bored.
Let's give our listeners a small list of common good habits. I always make a to-do list. I start with the most important task. I take a short break every hour, and I keep my desk clean.
And some common bad habits. I check my phone too much. I drink too much coffee. I start tasks late. I multitask all the time.
Friends, try this pattern. I have a bad habit. Repeat after me. I have a bad habit. I check my phone too much. One more time. I have a bad habit. I check my phone too much.
And now a positive one. I have a good habit. I plan my day every morning. Again, I have a good habit. I plan my day every morning.
Let's move to health and exercise habits. Ryan, do you have any good habits there?
Some, and some not so good. I usually try to exercise 3 times a week. Sometimes I go for a run. Sometimes I do a short workout at home.
How would you describe that in one clear sentence?
I try to exercise 3 times a week. I usually go for a run or do a short workout at home.
Nice. Friends, repeat after Ryan, slowly.
I try to exercise 3 times a week. I usually go for a run or do a short workout at home. One more time, a bit slower. I try to exercise 3 times a week. I usually go for a run or do a short workout at home.
Great. Now I'll share my habits. I try to move my body every day, but it's not always a big workout. Sometimes I just go for a walk, stretch for 10 minutes, or do some yoga.
That's very realistic, and it's a nice way to talk about your habits without pretending to be perfect.
Exactly. You don't need to sound like a fitness coach. You just need honest, simple sentences.
Friends, try this pattern with us. Repeat after me. I try to move my body every day. Again, I try to move my body every day.
And now another useful phrase, most days. For example, most days I take a short walk after lunch. Most days I cook dinner at home. Most days I go to bed around 11.
Let's practice one of those. Most days, I take a short walk after lunch. One more time. Most days, I take a short walk after lunch.
Okay, let's talk about food and eating habits. Ryan, what's a typical day of eating for you?
Honestly, on a healthy day or a normal day?
Let's start with the healthy version.
Okay, on a healthy day, I usually eat a light breakfast, maybe eggs and toast or yogurt with fruit. For lunch, I try to eat something with vegetables, like a salad or a rice bowl. For dinner, I usually eat at home and I try not to eat too late.
That sounds great. And now the normal version.
On a normal day, I drink too much coffee and I eat snacks late at night. I'm working on it.
Same. I think many people can relate to that. Let's give our listeners a useful pattern. On a healthy day, I usually, and on a normal day, I usually. Repeat after me. On a healthy day, I usually eat more vegetables. Again, on a healthy day, I usually eat more vegetables.
Now the second one. On a normal day, I usually drink too much coffee. Once more. On a normal day, I usually drink too much coffee. Now let's talk about evening and night habits. How do you usually end your day, Sarah?
It depends, but I'll describe a typical evening. In the evening, I usually have dinner around 7. After dinner, I like to relax. I watch a show, listen to music, or talk with friends. About an hour before bed, I try to stay away from my phone and read a book instead.
That sounds very calm and healthy.
Again, that's the ideal version.
Right. I think my evenings are a little different. In the evening, I usually finish work, then I cook something simple for dinner. After that, I sometimes watch YouTube or play video games to relax. I try to go to bed around 11, but sometimes I stay up too late.
Very honest. Our listeners will love that.
Let's give them a strong pattern for talking about night routines. Repeat after me. In the evening, I usually, again, in the evening, I usually. Now finish that sentence in your head with your real habit.
Maybe have dinner with my family, watch a show on Netflix, study English for 30 minutes, scroll on my phone.
Yes, be honest. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to express your real life.
Another useful phrase is before bed I usually. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Before bed I usually check my phone. Again, before bed I usually check my phone.
And now let's make it a bit healthier. Before bed, I usually read for a few minutes. One more time. Before bed, I usually read for a few minutes. All right, we've talked about morning habits, work and study habits, health and exercise, food, and evening habits.
Now let's talk about changing habits. How to talk about habits you want to change.
Good idea. For this, 2 phrases are super helpful. I want to and I'm trying to.
Yes, I want to is your goal. I'm trying to is your action. For example, I want to wake up earlier. I'm trying to go to bed before midnight. I want to exercise more. I'm trying to eat less sugar.
Let's practice those. Repeat after me. I want to wake up earlier. Again, I want to wake up earlier.
Now the other one. I'm trying to drink more water. One more time. I'm trying to drink more water.
Great. Now let's give them a small mini dialogue they can copy in their own life. I'll be the friend, you'll be the example.
Okay, go for it.
Do you have any habits you want to change?
Yeah, I want to stop checking my phone in bed. I'm trying to read before sleep instead.
That's a great answer. Friends, you can use the exact same pattern. Can you say it one more time slowly so they can repeat?
Sure. Yeah, I want to stop checking my phone in bed. I'm trying to read before sleep instead. Now, friends, repeat after me. Yeah, I want to stop checking my phone in bed. I'm trying to read before sleep instead. Another helpful phrase is, I used to.
Yes, I used to means this was your habit in the past, but not now. For example, I used to stay up very late, but now I try to sleep earlier.
Or, I used to drink a lot of soda, but now I mostly drink water.
Let's practice one together. Repeat after me. I used to stay up very late. Again, I used to stay up very late.
And now add a change. But now I try to go to bed earlier. One more time. But now I try to go to bed earlier.
Okay, we've given a lot of phrases and examples. Let's slow down and do a short review section where we repeat the key patterns.
Great idea. Friends, you can use this part like a mini speaking exercise.
All right, we'll say a pattern, we'll pause a little, and you can repeat after us.
Ready? Here we go. On weekdays, I usually wake up around.
On Fridays, first I, then I, after that I.
On a normal workday, I usually.
I work as a.
I study at.
I have a good habit. I
have a bad habit. I.
try to exercise.
Most days, I.
In the evening, I usually.
Before bed, I usually.
On a healthy day, I usually.
On a normal day, I usually.
I want to.
I'm trying to.
I used to, but now I.
Nice. If you want more practice, you can rewind this part and say each sentence with your real habits.
Before we finish, how about we each share 3 daily habits we're proud of and 1 habit we want to change?
Ooh, I like that. You go first.
All right, 3 habits I'm proud of. First, I usually drink water as soon as I wake up. Second, I try to move my body every day, even if it's just a short walk. Third, I plan my day in the morning so I know what to focus on. And 1 habit I want to change, I want to stop checking my phone right before bed. I'm trying to leave it in another room at night.
That's a good one. Okay, my turn. First, I usually make my bed in the morning. It's a small habit, but it makes me feel organized. Second, I try to eat at least 1 healthy meal every day, even if the rest of the day is not perfect. Third, I try to read a little bit every night, even just a few pages. And 1 habit I want to change, I want to stop scrolling on social media when I feel bored. I'm trying to choose a book or a walk instead.
Those are great examples and also great templates for our listeners.
Exactly. Friends, you can follow the same pattern in your head or say it out loud. 3 habits I'm proud of are, and 1 habit I want to change is.
You can even write your answer in the comments in English.
Yes, please do. We read your comments, and it's a great way to practice your writing, too.
All right, friends, that's it for today's episode of Daily English Café.
If you enjoyed this conversation and you learned even 1 new phrase, please support the channel. Hit subscribe, give this episode a like, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next conversations.
And if you know someone who is learning English and wants to practice real, everyday conversations, share this episode with them.
Finally, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what is 1 good habit you're proud of and 1 habit you want to change?
We read your answers and maybe we'll use some of your ideas in a future episode.
Thanks for spending this time with us today and for practicing your English with Sarah and Ryan here at Daily English Café.
Keep practicing a little bit every day.
Keep building those good habits.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.